In this video, I built a team of NFL commentators. Now these can be analysts, they can be broadcasters. As long as they're talking about live NFL games and they used to play in the NFL, they were eligible for the team. But if they're strictly on debate shows or, they're just on podcasts, things like that. For instance, Shannon Sharp, no longer a commentator for live games, so we're not going to include him. And guys like Greg Jennings, who's just on First Things First. We're not going to include guys that don't talk about live games. But luckily, we still had plenty of ex-players to choose from. I got 3 links that I'll put below in the description if you guys want to look at it yourself. First one is the Wikipedia's list of current NFL broadcasters. This has almost everyone, NFL national broadcasters, and then you have like individual teams broadcasters, for local games. Also using this NBC New York article, it has every TV broadcast crew for last season. So that brings me to the biggest rule. They had to have commentated last season or be under contract. So for instance, Tom Brady will be on the team, but everyone else are guys that commentated last year. Now let's get right into it. There's 5 quarterbacks I have, even though there's plenty we could have used. I took the 4 highest, and then the 5th one, Tony Romo. I had to, okay? We got these guys from their peak Madden ratings, from maddenratings.weebly.com. They had to have been on Madden 99 or later because I used their real Madden ratings. I got all these guys back when they were in their peak. So we're not going to have guys like Anthony Munoz, for example. He's one of the analysts for the Bengals broadcast team, but he retired way before Madden 99, so I don't have his real ratings. Great time to show the comment that gave me the idea. It was from Soul Toast Toasted, who said, interesting vids as usual. Ever thought about having a full team of announcers that used to play? Like Romo, Olsen, Sherman, Collinsworth, etc. Now, unfortunately, Collinsworth also played way before Madden 99, so we're not going to be able to use him either. But thanks for the donation. I think this is a great idea. Also, Dro6B says, love watching your videos and heard the first super chat in months, and I wanted to send you one. Keep making great videos. Thank you. You guys never have to donate, man. Just liking the video is more than enough. Now, Brady will be the first quarterback on the team to play a game, but then we're gonna have Peyton Manning play the next game. And then Eli from Madden 13 when he was a 97 will play game 3. And then Kurt Warner from Madden 03 when he was a 97. And those were the 4 highest overalls. Every other quarterback that commentates has been a 96 or below. Now, there's a lot of them to choose from, but Tony Romo changed the game, so I had to have him on the team. He'll play the 5th game. And then we'll go back to Brady for the 6th one and continue to cycle for every single game during the season, including the playoffs. Now on to the rest of the team. At a running back, we have LaDainian Tomlinson. They have him listed as a sideline reporter for the Chargers on Wikipedia. Okay, so we're going to hope that that's correct information. We also have MJD, who's an analyst
for the Rams.
His ratings were from Madden 13. Then we have Tiki Barber from Madden 07, who's an analyst on CBS. And then Madden 05, Deuce McAllister, who works for the Saints. We have Madden 15, John Kuhn at fullback, who works for the Packers. Now, I used anyone that was listed in any of these articles. So on ESPN's Monday Night Countdown, they said Fitzgerald and Alex Smith made multiple appearances, so we had to add Larry to the wide receiver room. 99 overall. Steve Smith works for the Panthers. He's a 98 from Madden 09. Julian Edelman appeared on Fox NFL Kickoff last year, and he was an 89 in Madden 18. And then Nate Burleson from the NFL Today was an 87 in Madden 07. We have Gronk from Fox NFL Sunday. Tony Gonzalez from Amazon Prime Video. He was a 98 in Madden 11. And then Greg Olsen, who was a 93 in Madden 17. Left tackle, we have Joe Thomas and Andrew Whitworth. Mark Schlereth at left guard. Eric Wood at center. TJ Lang at right guard. And then Tony Baselli and Lincoln Kennedy at right tackle. Here's what the offense is looking like. We might have to move Whitworth to center where he's a 99. Defense is pretty good as well. We have Michael Strahan from Fox. He was a 99 in Madden 03. Michael Bennett, who works as an analyst for Seattle. He was a 95 back in Madden 16. JJ Watt made multiple appearances on CBS, so he had to bring him back onto the field. And then Indy Kalu, who works as an analyst for the Texans. He was an 81 in Madden 04. Gerald McCoy listed as on-air talent. He's an analyst for the NFL Network. We had to bring him back. He was a 95 in Madden 16. And all I ask, if you have not hit that subscribe button yet, but you're enjoying the video so far, you should go ahead and click the button. DeMarco, also at D tackle. He works for the Los Angeles Rams. He was an 89 in Madden 01. I could only find 3 linebackers for this team. One of them, luckily, Luke Kuechly, who works as an analyst for the Panthers. He was a 99 Madden 19. We also have London Fletcher, who works for the Commanders. He was a 96 in Madden 09. And then Jonathan Vilma, who works for the NFL on Fox. He was a 95 in Madden 08. And then at cornerback, you have Richard Sherman leading the way. He works for Amazon Prime Video. He was a 99 in Madden 15. Our first Woodson, Charles, who works for Fox NFL Kickoff, was a 97 in Madden 11. We have Rondé Barber. Yes, both Barbers. This one works for the Buccaneers as an analyst. He was a 95 in Madden 08. And then another pair of brothers, Jason McCourty, who works as an analyst for CBS. He was an 89 in Madden 15. We have Devin McCourty, his brother, who works for NBC. He was a 94 in Madden 16. We also have Rod Woodson, who works for the Baltimore Ravens. He was a 97 in Madden 02. And then strong safety Adam Archuleta, who works for CBS. He was a 92 back in Madden 05. And another hard-hitting safety, Ryan Clark, who works for ESPN. He was an 85 in Madden 25. And then finally our kicker, Martin Gramatica, who works for the Buccaneers. He was a 97 in Madden 02. He, along with everyone else on his team, is either listed on the Wikipedia article, the NFL Network one, or the NBC New York one. Man, this team is loaded. Game 1 of the season for the Commentators went pretty much as you would expect. Even though they're facing off against a good Dolphins roster, their defense helped contain Miami Sherman with the early INT, getting Brady in the offense to football. He connects with Steve Smith for his first touchdown of the season, and the Commentators would not look back from there. They end up winning this one 27-8. Brady with 2 touchdowns passing, the other one goes to Edelman, and they're off to a 1-0 start on the season. Tomlinson 5 yards of carry, JJ with 3 sacks. Next up, it was Peyton Manning's turn up against Will Levis and the Titans, and believe it or not, Tennessee was the first team to strike in this one. They get the early field goal, but Peyton, along with LT, were able to breeze to a W. Manning threw 4 touchdowns, no picks, and the defense forced 3 interceptions on Will Levis, one by McCourty, Sherman, and Vilma. Gronk had his first touchdown of the season as the Commentators destroyed Tennessee 38-6. They start off 2-0 on the season with 2 different quarterbacks so far. Game 3 was a slow start for both the Commentators and their opponent, the Vikings. We were scoreless through the first quarter, but LT was just warming up, getting the ground game going for Eli, and it's the former Panthers and Ravens wide receiver that gets the first touchdown of the game. Now you have 2-minute drill Eli doing what 2-minute drill Eli does best. Surgical throw after surgical throw, moving the team all the way inside the red zone. But the Vikings would not go away easily. They were actually down only 1 possession late in the third quarter, but that Commentators D-line started to make plays every time they got close to scoring. This time it was JJ Watt forcing a fumble. Gerald McCoy scoops it up, and the Commentators remain undefeated. They win this one 31-10. Eli with 2 touchdowns, no INTs. McCarthy, besides that fumble, was actually pretty good, but you have to be perfect to beat this team. Addison with a nice game just was not enough. 4 sacks by the Michaels. Game 4 was Kurt Warner's turn. He was up against Minshew and the Raiders, and they put up a valiant effort, but there's nothing they could do against the Commentators defense, and Warner had one of his favorite targets from back in his playing days, Larry Fitzgerald. They go up early in this one, and then the very next drive from Minshew results in a Sherman interception. This secondary is just a little too good. It got out of hand early. John Kuhn even ended up scoring a touchdown. This one ends with a final score 41-14. Team's just a little too good. Warner with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. LT with another touchdown. Steve Smith had 2, and they're up to 4-0 on the season. And then game number 5, we had Tony Romo versus former team Dallas, who actually got off to a hot start. Huge INT on Romo. And after getting a field goal on drive number 1, they get another one on their second drive. Now the Commentators were held scoreless until late in the second quarter when Richard Sherman made a huge play, got the INT and the touchdown to give the Commentators the lead. And with his defense doing their job, Romo decided to start cooking up. He finds Edelman over the middle for a huge gain, and LaDainian Tomlinson's able to do the rest, punch this bad boy in for a touchdown. Closest game of the season so far, but not that close at all. 35-21. Cowboys, one of the better teams in Madden, putting up a good fight, but LT, Fitzgerald and company were just a little too much. Kuechly all over the field. Commentators looking to go undefeated on the season, and that's exactly what they do all the way up to week 12. But they have to go up against another undefeated team, the Ravens. 11-0. Commentators 10-0. Look at Baltimore, man. Close games. Some of them, but you know, some of them definitely blowouts. We've been alternating quarterbacks every game, but in week 12, game 11, it's Tom Brady's turn, and the Ravens take their first L this season. 63-21. Brady took it personally. personally. So did LT, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Fitzgerald almost had 200 yards receiving. He had 2 touchdown catches. And the commentators are wreaking havoc during the season. 2 INTs for Rondé Barber. Last game of the season is Peyton Manning's turn, and they're taking on the 13-3 Chiefs. Only team that can stop them from having a perfect season, and they can't do it either. 41-3. Commentators go 17-0. First in points per game, they average 40. Also first in points given up with only 13. Final stats, you have Brady, who was perfect, didn't throw an interception all season, and he played 4 games. Same with Peyton Manning. They both did not throw an interception. The only INT was from Tony Romo, but he still had 11 touchdowns, good for second on the team. Eli and Warner also did not throw any picks. LT with 27 rushing touchdowns, only 1 fumble in the season, 1,700 yards. He averaged 6 yards a carry. MJD with 6 touchdowns. Larry Legend, 1,300 yards, 16 receiving touchdowns, most on the team. Gronk was second with 1,100 yards and 12 receiving touchdowns. He had the most receptions with 93. Steve Smith was third in all of those categories. Edelman, LT should be in the race for MVP, man. That's a nasty season. Over 30 total touchdowns and 2,000 total yards. Kuechly, most tackles on the team. No surprise there. JJ, most sacks with 18.5. Strahan with 15.5. And then Bennett with 11. 3 guys in double figures. Sherman, 6 INTs. Barber, McCourty. We had some ball hawks on this squad. 2 guys with double-digit tackles for a loss. Watt and Strahan. 10 deflections for Barber. Grammatica only missed 3 field goals on the season, but made all 92 extra points. Mahomes still wins MVP. Our highest finisher ends up LT in the top 5. And I guess that makes sense because our quarterbacks were split up, you know, so we weren't going to get an MVP from there. However, LT, OPOY, Fitzgerald in the top 10. JJ ends up 3rd for DPOY. Strahan in the top 10. Best QB, we had nobody in the top 10. LT wins best running back. Fitzgerald wins best wide receiver. We had 3 of our guys in the top 3 for best O-lineman, Schlereth, Lang, and Boselli. Watt ends up 2nd for best D-lineman, Strahan 4th. No one had best linebacker, that's a shock. And then best DB goes to Sherman, Rondé right behind him. Grammatica finishes as the 8th best kicker. Now you saw Peyton just play the last game of the season, that was his 4th. And now it's Eli's turn. We avoid the wild card round. Now our first matchup is against the Dolphins in the divisional. I'm gonna watch one drive on offense and defense in each of these games. Hopefully there's more and we can continue winning. First play, most are only getting 2. Now if we win this one, then Kurt Warner will be up next in the conference championship game, and if we win that one, we'll have Romo lead us in the Super Bowl. Mostert getting some good yards on the ground. I know a lot of games were blowouts during the season, but these teams made the playoffs for a reason, man. They're really good. Tua on 3rd and 4 completes it to Odell Beckham Jr. First down Miami. Dolphins came to play, man. Check this one out. Tua somehow gets rid of that with a defender in his face, and then Mostert with a beautiful spin move picks up the first. They are not intimidated by the commentators. 3rd down and 5. Huge chance for the commentators to get off the field. Tua on the run gets hit as he throws it. Tyreek's wide open, and they keep the chains moving. And not only that, but a few plays later, Tua's gonna cap this one off with a touchdown pass to Odell. Miami up 7-0. Eli's no stranger to pressure situations. That's Tony Gonzalez with his first catch of the playoffs. Plenty of talent on this team. No need to panic. Next play, Fitzgerald. He's a big playoff performer, man. Huge catch. Always shows up in the playoffs. Makes it a 3rd and short. First play of quarter number 2. Dolphins send a blitz. Steve Smith cannot hold on to it. And Miami's going to have the football with a 7-point lead in the second quarter. Well, the commentators run stop here, man. 10-0. Miami make it 13-0. What is going on? Eli needs to fight back. Plenty of time left. They finally get on the board in the 3rd quarter. 13-3. But we're down 17. Still have plenty of time, though. 4th quarter starts with a Gronk catch. He spent a Super Bowl playing against them, and now he's his favorite target. Gronk with another catch. Very next play, Eli gonna cut this to a 10-point game. Larry Fitzgerald with a clutch touchdown catch. And now it's up to the defense, who has been spectacular all season long. They need to do it again. 3rd and 6. Have to get off the field. 4-man rush. Tua to Tyreek. Incomplete. Charles Woodson on the coverage. They force a punt. And then Eli picks up where he left off. A nice floating pass to Steve Smith. Smith, getting them in field goal range. And then not too long after, he's gonna go to the former Cardinal, Larry Fitzgerald, in the end zone to make this a 3-point game. It all comes down to this. 3rd and 7, 1 timeout left for the Commentators. They send the blitz to the bottom of the screen, incomplete. Archuleta on the coverage. Comes the blitz by Ramsey, but Gronk is left wide open. A couple more plays like that, they'll be in range for Martin Gramatica. Eli against the blitz. This time he's gonna dump it off to Edelman, who gets out of bounds at the 41. The 97 overall kicker should be able to tie this one up and send us into overtime. And he does. Miami gets ball first, but both teams will possess it. But Miami set the bar pretty high on their first drive. Tua's gonna connect with Jalen Waddle for the first touchdown in overtime. Need a touchdown to stay in it. Eli under center, gonna drop back. Pressure in his face. Eli gets hit as he throws it, but Gronk with the catch, and they get the first down. I have no idea how he completed that pass, but you get the good with Eli, and you get the bad with him too. May with the INT, and the Commentators go home in the divisional round. Eli is livid, but it won't change the outcome. 27-20, first loss of the season comes in the divisional round. Tua was perfect, just about, man. 3 touchdowns and no INTs. Fitzgerald stepped up in overtime. He did all he could. Same with Steve Smith, but I told you, man, the Dolphins have plenty of talent, and they send us packing. So it may have looked automatic for this team to win it all, but that did not happen, man. Let's see who ends up winning the Super Bowl. It's Miami. They end up taking it all, man. Tua with the Super Bowl MVP. They beat the Cowboys. Here's a look at how it happened, man. Feel free to pause if you want. There's our loss against the Dolphins. They end up beating the Jaguars the next round, 38-10, and then taking care of Dallas.